Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I'm your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels. Today we are trying a different camera angle, see if that helps me with my focusing issue. Anyways, we are going to assemble the Bargains Made box containing Jakob, Lynch, and Leveticus masters for the Ten Thunders and Outcasts faction, as well as a shared soul battery model. It has both their keywords. So, 3 models. That's our artwork. Render on the back. Here is Jakob looking unwell. The soul battery also looking unwell. And then Leveticus on some kind of mecha meat horse, which is making me feel unwell. Let's look at the sprue. The sprue is a bit more complex than I was kind of expecting. Everyone's got at least 10 or so bits. But not a ton of tiny ones, which is my biggest worry. We'll see how complex they actually end up being when we get to assembly. Let's go ahead and go with the order on the back of the box. So we'll do, excuse me, Jakob, Lynch first, then the soul battery, and then Leveticus on his horse. Alright, let's look at Lynch's instructions. For Mr. Lynch, we will grab the torso and add the legs to it, then do the rest of the coat, I guess the rest of the torso too. Right arm, right hand, left arm, left hand. I think those are the correct arms. And then the head. And after that, we'll figure out the ghostly, powery bits that are wrapping around his feet. I'm not sure if they attach to him or not, which is why we're doing it last. So, let's go ahead. Grab, is this labeled? It's not labeled. Anyways, grab the body and the legs. Here is our torso. Now let's add our legs. Now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and do the rest of his coat. We're just going to continue along this connection point. I guess that also makes up part of his chest. There's that. Let's look at the back just to confirm our seam. Looking pretty good. Let's figure out these arms. I was correct in my guess. Right arm, right hand, left arm, left hand. Okay, there's the right arm. Let's check the shoulder. Looks good. And our right hand. And our left arm. Oops. And our left hand. You should put the hand on the arm before you attach the arm to the body. It was real weird to get it in there right now because the coat's in the way. Let's add his head and call the body good. Drugs are bad, folks. Okay, let's look at his magical effect. 2 pieces for the magical effect. 1 and 2. The connection point for this one being right here, you can see that. And it corresponds to right here on the other piece. Here they are combined. You can barely even see that seam. That's what it looks like from the top down. That might help you figure that out. Okay, now I'm going to figure out if this attaches to Lynch or not. I did find one connection point. You can kind of see it here, right there, that tooth. That is going to go on his right leg, kind of on the inside. There. So, our right leg is going to be inside this smaller loop, and our left leg is going to be in the bigger one. I think his shoe is going to be sitting right around here, possibly going underneath this little arch. Let's put on a base. Alright, there we go. Yeah, it doesn't really look like the left foot's touching anything, although you can definitely glue it to something. It's not that important. Did I get that right? I might do just some fiddling, but he's done. Jakob Lynch Dark Debt is done. The hardest parts were the left hand because I decided to put it on after I attached the arm, and the magical thing swirling around his legs, figuring out how to attach those. Overall, an easy piece. Let's move on to the poor soul battery. Okay, on to our soul battery, the poor schlub. This actually looks relatively simple on the instructions, so let's hope that's true. We'll grab both legs, combine them together, and then add them to, this looks like maybe folds of a coat or shirt, which will slam into the torso up here. And then we could do, you know, right arm, left arm, and then the head. And then we'll go from the top down, I guess, as far as magical effects. We got these coming out of his back. It looks like this is coming out of his mouth. This one or this one. Sure. And then the other one of these, plus this big one, is going to be the magical effect that he's standing on. Alright, let's look at the instructions and then grab both of the legs. Left leg, plus our left leg, they are scrunched really close to each other. Let's see if we can look at the butt. Alright. Now grab that cloth flap that goes on top of this and add it on. Goodness. Focus camera. And there we go. Let's look at our seam. Looks fine to me. So now plop the torso on top. Okay. Also an easy connection. Moving right along. Let's do the left arm. The left arm is B3. I have not been using the numbering on the sprue because some of the bits are not numbered, but it's B3, the right arm is B4, but also they have different connection points, so you're not going to get them mixed up as long as you dry fit. So let's do B4, the right arm. And connects to the shoulder, and as well the elbow fits into a groove on the thigh there, so 2 connection points. Let's finish off the body with the head. This guy is also not having a good day. Okay, head is in. Now let's look at our remaining bits. So, we'll start with the stuff coming out of his mouth. It's going to be this piece. The connection point to his mouth is this end. Then we'll do the smoke coming off of his back, which is this piece, and all these different points are connected to his back. After that, we'll combine these 2 pieces, which is the base, and then glue him onto that. Okay? Let's start with this unlabeled bit. Alright, here's the effect coming out of the mouth. You could definitely attach it to the collar or maybe even the side of his head if you wanted to. It does seem to be sitting in there okay by itself. Just for orientation, check the render. Now let's do the back magical effect. Okay. That went on just fine. Fairly intuitive where everything goes. There is an additional connection point I missed back here. That's going like underneath the flap of the coat. But no, let's not shoot him across the table and get a quick look at that from the back side before we combine our last 2 pieces together. Piece 1. The only connection point I could find for his body is right underneath this wispy smoke magic bit, and that goes on his left calf, you can see right there. Now the other parts of his legs are kind of touching other things, so you could possibly have other connection points, but that's the only one where I saw that. Like, oh, here's definitely something that goes there. Excuse me. Okay. It fits in solidly. Once you get that left foot threaded in through this hole, it sort of locks into place after some rotating. And once it's in the right spot, it's a little hard to wiggle out of there. That's where you know it's situated correctly. But I think that's really the only connection point you need. It's pretty solid. Has a lot of surface area. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on a base. Call them good. Looks almost exactly like the render. The soul battery is done. Hardest part was figuring out how his legs went on the basing magic stuff, and really getting the magic coming out of his mouth to be pointed correctly. Yeah, good amount of small pieces, but nothing too terribly hard. Let's move on to the big model in the box. Right, on to Leveticus Pariah of Blood. We will construct the horse first, do the 2 halves of it, and then these actually cloth flaps we'll do next before we do the legs, just in case the legs would get in the way. And we'll do all 4 of the horse legs, Once they're done, we'll staple Leveticus's legs to the horse, slab his torso down on top of it, do his backpack, his left arm, the tube connecting his left arm to the backpack, his right arm, and then his head. Let's look at the instructions. Left side of the horse plus the right side of the horse. It's two halves of a horse. Kind of hard to mess this one up. Alright, next is going to be our cloth flaps that are going to go underneath the saddle and saddle blanket. One goes right here, and the other one goes right here. One of them, I think, is misplaced on the instructions, but the one that goes on the right side will be, excuse me, this one, and then this one will go on the left side of the horse. Okay, there it is on the right side of the horse. Now, let's do the other one on the left side. Okay, this one actually has a bit of the side of the horse poking through it. Okay, let's just do all 6 legs at once. Okay, we'll do the back left leg, the front left leg over here, and then Leveticus's left leg. After that, go ahead and do the back right leg, the front right leg, and then Leveticus's right leg. Back left leg, front left leg, and Leveticus left leg. Now let's go over to our right side. Back right leg, front right leg, and then I don't know if I've pointed that out on the other side, but the connection point for Leveticus's leg is this hole right there. And Leveticus's right leg. Okay, let's revisit our sprue. Alright, order for the remainder of the mini. Leveticus's torso and his backpack, which will connect back there. Then his right arm, the tube that connects the backpack and the right arm, left arm, and head. Okay, let's jam the torso effectively on those legs. And there it goes. Be careful of the spikes on his shoulder. They're thin. They can get snapped off pretty easily. Alright, let's do his backpack on his back. There it is. The tube appears to be like going into the horse's mane. Alright, now let's do the right arm, the one with the big metal needle. Alright, this tube was a massive pain. But I got it figured out. However, it's going to be a lot easier to put on if you don't have his torso on the horse yet, so I went ahead and ripped him off. Tube has one end that has a definite like hook to it, and that's going to go in this spot in his wrist, and then it's going to wrap underneath the arm, and I believe go in here. Not 100% certain on it, but that's the part that looks the most correct. So that's what I ended up going with. Again, do this before you put him on the horse, please. Yeah, now I'm just going to attach him to the horse. Oh crap, I bent a pokey thing. Alright, there he is on his horse with his stupid tube. Let's do the left arm. Took me a while, then I realized the staff was oriented the wrong way, and there we go, he's holding it almost upright. I guess more up than down. Let's get a good look at the back of the arm. Okay, now at his head. The head is turned to the left. The right. Oh god, I've been getting those wrong this entire time. Ah, crap. Oh well. Yep, now this is the way his head is tilted. It'll just pop into place. Easy peasy. He's done. Let's get him on a base. Leveticus, Pariah of Blood is done. Hardest part was the tube that goes underneath his left arm. And just being really delicate with the spikes on his shoulders. I still bent them. So try and learn from my mistakes. Everything else went in easy. Really was just the tube. Yeah, let's look at the whole box. The Bargains Made box is done, containing one Jakob Lynch Dark Debt, a Soul Battery, and Leveticus Pariah of Blood. Yeah, some decent difficulty in this box, specifically the magic that Jakob Lynch is standing in, the magic that the soul battery is standing in, and that tube on Leveticus. No, actually, that's really it. I have been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build a better Malifaux. Good night.